What is up, everyone? So I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but that doesn't stop Tower of God Mondays from happening, which means this video probably won't be out until like near Friday. But we're gonna try to do it Monday, okay? By the time it's Monday, this video should be up, okay? So anywho, we are talking about the latest chapter of Tower of God, chapter 454, if I'm not mistaken, or 354. It'll be in the description down below. So we're going to talk about the latest chapter, which starts a new arc, which is the Wall of Peaceful Coexistence. But that's not kind of what I really want to talk about. I really want to talk about how Bam's past may be a little more revealed within this arc, which I'm going to give shout outs to Tower of God right now, because they really have kept Bam's past a secret for a long time. Like, even with certain even shows like Gintama, after a certain point we kind of got a clear view, even though we put the piece together. But now SIU is pretty much keeping us in the dark and only giving us little bits and pieces as the years go by, which is a really good strategy because it just keeps the writer just wanting more and really wanting to know about Bam. But I say all that to say that his past might be a little more revealed in this arc. So in the Wall of Peaceful Coexistence, there exists this lady by the name of Rash or Yang. And basically this young lady or old lady was one of the proponents of this great war that happened with jihad and everything. But there was so much bloodshed in war that she decides to seal herself within the Wall of Peaceful Coexistence, thus ending the war, which says a lot about her. And I'm really excited to see how powerful she is if she could end a whole war with all of these crazy overpowered people. I'm really interested to see how powerful that she is. But the thing that she says is what really gets me in this chapter, because she says to her sister, so a little side story. So when she sealed herself in the wall to prevent the war, or to stop the war from continuing, she erased everyone's memory of her but her sister. And her sister actually is the key to waking her sister back up. So Calavan actually is assigned to basically free her by using her sister. So that's pretty much the basic story of that. So she tells her sister before she's locked up, do not wake me up until the child of fuck returns and comes back to this place. Which really gets us thinking, because we know Bam is the reincarnation of something. He is the reincarnation of Beast's child, basically, that was said to have died out of Jihad's rage. So what more did he have to play with Fug, really? And just really, who is Bam? Because she's waiting on the child that's Bam. So why is she specifically waiting for him? I can't wait for her to be revealed, because she's obviously going to be revived. I mean, the story won't progress further unless she's revived. And so maybe she'll have some more insight on Bam's past, which is great, because I don't really know much about Bam as much as I've been reading Tower of God. Again, the only thing I know about Bam is basically what I just told you. So it'll be really interesting to see another layer of Bam's past slowly start peeling. And that was really the main point of the chapter to me, was that we are one step closer to finding out who Bam really is and how dang deadly he is in this whole sphere of Tower of God. I also like kind of what Halcon, which I don't understand why this worthless piece of crap is even existing in this world, but okay, it's the author. But he even says himself, I will gladly watch Fug as they create a monster. Halcon, who is considered a demon himself, has to admit that Bam is a monster, which says a lot. But I don't know. Halcon has always been like the hype villain, in my opinion, which is a word that doesn't exist. But let me explain what a hype villain is. We see him in anime, we see him in manga, we see him in webtoons, we see him all over. The hype villain to me is like the villain that was hyped to be really strong and very powerful, but really they're weak as chips. The only victories that they have is what the plot armor and what the author allowed the villain to have. Halcon is definitely a key example of a hype villain because he was hyped as so powerful that Bam could not touch him, to Bam to completely wipe the floor with him. So it's just interesting to see how like weak Quinn is now, and how he even admits that Bam is extremely strong, and Bam has gotten incredibly strong. But there were a lot of good things about this chapter. Another really key thing, I hope you reach to this point of the video, because I do want to bring shout outs to the author at this point. The author made it a very long chapter. This chapter was extremely long. A very great way to start a new arc. An arc especially as powerful and as promising as this arc. It was very long, enjoyed every second of it. And that's another thing, and I know other people who have talked about Tower of God too. This is one thing that we all appreciate, is that we get these long chapters. Like every chapter in Tower of God is actually worth waiting on, because you get your weight worth. Like you get unlimited, a pretty mouthful of content and detail and various structure when you read a chapter of Tower of God. And the thing with other webtoons, that I like them, but my biggest thing is that the creators, either it's their daily lives that prevent them, or maybe it's just a strategy. I'm just gonna say a strategy to save basically a wordy essay. And they use this strategy to keep the viewer wanting more, but at a certain point when you keep doing it, it becomes a little bit of a turnoff. I say that to say that other webtoons, sometimes they tease us a little bit and give short chapters, which I feel hurts a little bit. But Tower of God doesn't cease to amaze me, especially with what the authors was going through at a time, with how it's stressful on him, the webtoon, how we still get these long, fleshed out, quality based 10 out of 10 chapters, which why Tower of God is my favorite webtoon, a favorite comic of all time, just because of this small factor here. I actually get my money's worth if I even invest in Fast Pass, or I just binge read it. I get my money's worth. I get my time that was invested in reading the chapter Tower of God. But all case in point, chapter was really good. We can tell it's a new arc because how long the chapter was also, and just because there was so much detail that was given. And again, I just can't wait to see what else happens next. And next week will be very promising. And that is my video of Tower of God. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like and a subscribe. But also make sure you like and subscribe to your content creators, because they put a lot of work in these webtoons. A lot more work than I would ever put in any comment. You can get stick figures. With that being said, I thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you in the next video.